green flag Racing Power is going to grab the lead as they head to turn number 1 and into 2.
Dario and Kanaan both get by.
Dario Franchitti is the early leader. Give the Scotsman the 27th win of his career.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
Dario, he picks up right where he left off after winning the championship last year. Is this a sign of things to come?
And so the two drivers who battled to the championship at the final race last year at Homestead Miami Speedway, Dario Franchitti and Will Power, finished first and second in the opener this year in St. Petersburg. Dario wins round number 1, and he is standing by on our Versus Pit Road set with Kevin Lee.
Thank you, Bob. Let's start with that, Dario, as you bask in the glory of a win to try to defend your championship and the rivalry with Team Penske. These two teams have battled for championships for the last several years. What kind of rivalry is there?
Well, it's a strong rivalry. It's a friendly one too, but we want to beat those guys, and they definitely want to beat us badly. And we continue to push each other to each week. And some weeks we have the advantage, some weeks it's those guys. So it's ongoing. And as you saw with the pass, that's actually the first time I've seen the pass. It gets close on occasion.
In Formula One, the biggest rival is your teammate. Scott Dixon has been one of the toughest guys to beat. What's that relationship like?
Yeah, Scotty's absolutely very tough to beat, but we've managed to do it in a way that, same with when I was teammates with Tony Kanaan, Brian Herta, Marco, Dan, those guys, we managed to do it in a friendly way. I know he wants to beat me. He knows I want to beat him, but we work very well together. We're friends away from the track, but we keep that competition on the track, and that's I think sometimes people misunderstand that. They misunderstand that we are so fiercely competitive because we're friendly away from the track.
We love you because of your skill, but also your candidness. Double file restarts. Now, you were able to stay out in front of it, but what did you think? What adjustments need to be made? And there already have been some made.
Yeah. I mean, it was great for me. I took the lead of the race with the help of the double file restarts, but I was still very upset. I thought ultimately it came down to there's some of the drivers out there made bad decisions, and they made us look stupid as a series, and it wasn't the way we like to do things. So we've modified it a little bit today. But if I've make as many mistakes as the next guy, but unless we kind of just come back a little bit and a bit less aggression at the start. When I say less aggression, I'm not for a minute saying you don't try a move that's on, but you don't just try a move that has no chance of coming off, which is what was tried last week, also on the start, but also on some of the restarts. Simona's move on the restart where she pushed Justin on the grass and then T-Bone Will was just crazy.
Thanks for coming up here. Stay cool today.
Thank you. Can I just say one thing? Got to say hi to my friends Mickey and Brady out there in Colorado, and the birth of young Sean Michael Ryan. That was a nice addition to our team this week.
Very nice. Have a good race.
Thank you.
Dario Franchitti will start 7th, and with his win at St. Pete, Dario has now won at 22 different tracks, second only to Mario Andretti, who won at 26 venues with his 52 career wins. Including Barber Motorsports Park, there are 9 tracks where Dario has yet to record a victory. One driver who can cross Barber Motorsports Park off his victory list, Helio Castroneves, who captured the inaugural Indycar event here last year. And he's standing by with Lindy.
And he needs another good weekend, Kevin. Race 1, lap 1, turn 1, and you're done. Have you all talked about the fact that you cannot afford for that to happen today?
Yeah, well, actually talk about it. It was kind of like one of those different strategy, not a strategy, because we didn't know what's going to happen. There was so slow start, and but unfortunately, we all figured out what happened. Unfortunately, I brake a little too deep and end up causing a lot of mess. I apologize to everyone, but well, for here, we started in the front, so that's a good news. The AAA insurance car seems to be in a good shape, and now we just need to be right there with Will and Ryan.
Do you feel any advantage being the defending winner?
Not really. It changed so much, the tracks, the weather, tires changed a little bit, so I wish we have some advantage, but actually everybody probably are looking what happened last year to do the same thing what's going to happen this year. So hopefully we're going to have something else, then we can beat everybody again.
We'll see what happens. Elio starting 4th, Marty Snyder with the driver starting 3rd.
And that would be Scott Dixon, who does get to start up front, but this is such a narrow track, Scott. For you, how big of a key is patience going to be today?
I think it's always key, and we saw the lack of it obviously at the first race in St. Pete, and that definitely ruined our day for Team Target. But you know, here I think the start's going to be a lot different, a lot more flow to it. You know, it's a 4th gear corner, but it's going to be one of those days where you got to save a bit of fuel and try and monitor what the other guys are doing. You know, and as we were talking before, it's not obviously the way you want to always race, but 9 times out of 10 is probably what will get you that victory.
Finished 16th at St. Pete. That puts you in a little precarious position with the points. So how does that change your approach to today's race?
I don't know what I've done to St. Pete.
It has not been kind to you, my friend.
I know. The last 4 years, I don't think I've finished. So, you know, it'd be nice to, you know, hopefully get onto a bit of a roll. This is where we're going to have to start our season. Last week was, or 2 weeks ago, was definitely not the way that we wanted to start. I was trying to be cautious. I was trying to stay out of everything. And, you know, you have a car go over the top of you, which you can't help. So, but definitely looking to turn it around this weekend, get some good valuable points, and, you know, try and start our campaign now.
Usually not good when a car goes over the lid, right?
That's pretty bad. From every time I've seen it, it's pretty bad. Just ask Marco, maybe.
All right, the Ganassi team won the Grand Am race yesterday. Scott Dixon trying to make it the weekend sweep, Kevin.
Thank you, Marty. In his first event with KV Racing Technology, Tony Kanaan recorded a podium finish just ahead of Simona Di Silvestro 2 weeks ago, who recorded a career-high 4th. We'll hear from them when IndyCar Central, presented by Verizon, returns.
IndyCar Central on Versus is presented.
In the 1950s, there was a big crash in Le Mans where a car actually crashed into the grandstand and Switzerland banned racing. So it's kind of weird to be a race car driver from Switzerland. So you have to go around to Italy and France to race. And, you know, I was lucky that my dad and my mom allowed me to do that. And we would pack up the minivan, put my go-kart in, and we would go drive in Italy mostly. Got the opportunity to come to the US and went into the Atlantic Series, won a couple of races, and then got the opportunity to do a test in the IndyCar Series, and here I am in the greatest open wheel series in North America. So I think it was a good path, and I'm really lucky to be here. Being a female race car driver, it's still pretty new, and coming from Europe, not many series have had female race car drivers over there. Here in IndyCars, there has been a few, you know, Danica has done an unbelievable job for us. We're a couple of girls racing here this year. I think we have to show that we can run up front during the whole season, and I think I'm going to do that.
Such an impressive race for this young lady who finished 4th at St. Pete. And what does a race do that for you confidence-wise as a young driver?
Well, it definitely gave a lot of confidence. You know, finishing 4th in the first race, it was pretty unbelievable, especially after starting 17th, you know, and that was great. And I really have to thank everybody at HVM and Entergy and Nuclear Clean Air Energy to give me the opportunity to race here in the ISOT IndyCar Series this year.
I'm not great with math, but you went from 17th to 4th. So today, 13th, that would put you in 1st at the end of the race. Can you do it with the car you have today?
I don't know. You know, it was okay this morning, but we still have a little bit of work ahead of us. It's a little tougher to pass here, so we'll see what we have. But definitely, you know, I'm going to try all to get to the front for sure.
And don't forget, here last year, she was in the top 5 until a late spin in the race. Lindy?
Tony Kanaan starting 24th, so will you gamble on pit strategy today?
We'll try. We'll definitely try. We're going to start on the blacks and see what we're going to do. It's a tough track to pass, but we'll see if we can do something better.
You've been visibly upset all weekend about the performance of the car. Where do you think you're at now?
I don't know. I think I have a top 15 car, but it's a long race.
We'll see how you do. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
We'll let you get into your intro. Kevin?
Starting 26.
Well, unhappy drivers were plentiful last week or 2 weeks ago. Marco Andretti, Mike Conway. Coming up, Robin Miller will join us to discuss St. Pete and more. IndyCar Central, presented by Verizon. Celebrate the centennial year of the Indianapolis 500, and of course you cannot do that without honoring the first 4-time winner, A.J. Foyt. Can you believe it was 50 years ago when Foyt won his first 500 in 1961? Of course, he's one of only 3, including Al Unser Sr. and Rick Mears, to win at Indy 4 times. A.J. also celebrated victory there as an owner in 1999 when he won with Kenny Breck. And it's good to have A.J. back at the track with us after missing St. Pete to have a procedure done on his heart. Welcome back, A.J. And back here at Barber Motorsports Park, where fans are enjoying the IZOD Fan Zone. Racing fans have been gathering there all weekend, taking part in a variety of activities and probably talking about the chaos that took place 2 weeks ago in St. Pete's.
It's a brand new season of IndyCar. 2011 is here, and we are racing as the green flag flies. And Marco Andretti goes over the top of Dixon, flips upside down.
That's what happens, you know. We try to start so close together. It's great for the fans, but it's no good for me today.
You run a good race, you run a third, fourth, and you got to go put yourself on the outside with a bunch of.
Well, there's side-by-side racing, and there's going inside the IndyCar series with Robin Miller.